When you go to buy your sand, you want to make sure it comes in this type of packaging. This type is always dry. First thing you're going to do is take your new sandbag out of its package. You're going to undo the Velcro top and pull out the inner funnel part that is attached to the inside bag that holds all the sand. You're going to open it up. You're going to stick your hand inside. You want to push all the inner layer into every corner and everything. Make sure the bag's nice and open. And you're going to flip over the top flap. I feel that makes it filling way easier. It helps hold open the top so that there's a bigger opening for the sand to go in. Cut your dry play sand bag. Start pouring it in slowly at first. You want to get it in there and try not to spill too much. Then you're going to fill up the bag, and it goes in slow. You'll figure the best way out. This is how I always do it, and I filled plenty of bags. Usually I'll get the first 50 pounds in there, and it takes a little while to get started. The bag wants to kind of collapse on itself, so you got to hold it up and add more sand. Once you get that first bag of sand in there, you'll see I kind of like lift the bag up to kind of compress the sand down. You want to do that multiple times. It's more important on the bigger bags, but you kind of like pack it down in there, pick it up by the funnel part. You push the sand around, make sure it goes all on the edges and the corners before you start filling more. As you get into the bigger bags, you notice that's way more important. If you don't do that, the sandbag won't hold the proper amount of sand until after you start to use it, and all the sand gets compressed into all the corners, and you'll see that it's super floppy and it won't weigh the correct amount, and then you'll have to add more sand, and that's always a pain. So here I am pushing the sand in the corners, slam it on the ground, make sure it compacts down tight. So this is a 100-pound bag, but make sure it holds all 100 pounds of sand. And if you don't do this, you see that it looked like it was at the top. If you close it right then, it would be way less, because look how it all went down. Continue filling it. Once I get kind of close to the top, I always weigh all my bags so that I know what size I'm throwing around. And once it gets close to the top, I put it on a scale to see how much more sand I have to add. I've always found that the bags from Home Depot are never, the 50-pound bags are never filled with 50 pounds. It's hard to find. So I keep it on the scale and add whatever I need left until it gets in there. Sometimes as it gets to the top, it's a little hard to fill. That's why you'll see you want to keep pushing it into the corners, because look, it's almost out of the top, and it's right at 100 pounds. So I'll wiggle it a little more, slam it on the ground, then I use my hand and push it in all in the corners. You want to close that first layer of Velcro, make sure it's nice and tight as you pull across. Make sure everything's connected perfectly, nice and tight. Then you want to flip it over one time so that the Velcro connects again. You want to try and do this as best as possible, and then you're going to try and push it into the zipper opening. Sometimes it can kind of be a pain depending on the sand and everything like that, but it will fit in there. Shove it in there, and then this can kind of be a pain in the ass sometimes, and I'm backwards in this video, so it's a little more difficult looking to get that zipper started. But once you get that zipper started, make sure it zippers all the way across and zippers completely closed. That way it helps hold the bag together. And then once the zipper is completely closed, you want to close the Velcro on the top. Make sure that the Velcro is completely touching each other, and I always like to hit it a couple times